Hey everyone, it's Luke here with Solarhood. Today we're really going to give you a primer or a crash course on what does solar cost. And joining me today is Ryan Pletka. He's joining us from San Francisco via our robot. So he's joining us virtually today. Ryan, how's it going?
Great, man. How you doing, Luke?
Pretty good. Well, let's talk about solar costs. I guess first off, what are some factors that we want to consider when we're thinking about going solar?
Yeah. Some of the key ones are how big your system is, how much the initial cost is, incentives available, performance of the system, how you're going to finance it, and then what you're going to compare the cost of solar to.
Okay, cool. Well, let's start with that first one, the size of a solar installation. What is an average size for a rooftop solar installation here in the U.S.?
Yeah, well, first, it's important to talk about how we rate solar systems. And just like a light bulb, they're measured in watts. So, a typical solar system in the U.S. that we're seeing these days is something like 2,000 to 6,000 watts. And you want to kind of size that solar system considering three constraints. First is how much physical space you have on your roof. Second is how much energy you use, on an annual basis or monthly. And the final is a financial constraint. How much do you want to spend on the solar project?
Yeah, cool. Well, let's get into that, the cost of that. So roughly, what is an average cost of a solar installation that you see?
Yeah, we like to talk about the cost on a unit cost basis, so dollars per watt. So typically, we're looking at solar systems these days costing $3 to $5 per watt. That's come down tremendously, more than 50% in the past few years, which is great. The cost keeps coming down. So at $3 to $5 a watt, you might be looking at a system that's anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000, depending a lot on how large it is, how old your roof is, and other factors taken into consideration in your home or market.
And another thing to consider is the incentives. So that will further reduce the cost. So tell us a little bit about the incentives.
Yeah, there's a great incentive available from the federal government called the investment tax credit. That's essentially equivalent to a 30% rebate on your taxes. There's also potentially incentives available from your state or local government, and the utility might have special rate options like net energy metering.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So the energy guru in me has got to ask about performance. So really, how important is performance of your solar installation?
Yeah, it's very important. Certainly you're going to get a lot more sun in some place like the desert in Mojave versus Maine. But taking into account, that we can't relocate our homes, there's specific orientation issues with the home. Like ideally, you're going to locate your system on a slope facing towards the south or maybe towards the west, an area that's free from shading. That will really help you get the most energy out of that system.
So really not just the amount of sunlight that you get in an area, but maybe that tree that's in your backyard or the orientation of your roof. So there's other things that you need to factor in there. And then how do you buy one of these things? How do you finance a solar installation?
Yeah, well, other than paying cash for the system, which you can do, a lot of people finance the solar in one of three ways, either through a loan or through a lease or something that the solar industry calls a power purchase agreement, like a monthly payment for the energy. And you can learn a lot more about that in the one of the other videos that we recorded for Solarhood.
Got it. And then, what do you suggest kind of comparing this investment to? What are you looking at there?
Yeah, well, once you know kind of your initial cost, how you're going to pay for it, how much energy it's going to be produced, you'll be able to calculate a cost per kilowatt hour of solar energy that your system produces. And you can directly compare that to how much you're paying the utility for your power. So take a look at your bill, and maybe you're paying on the order of 15 to 20 cents per kilowatt hour. Well, the cost from your solar system might be as low as 10 cents per kilowatt hour, in which case it could be a pretty attractive investment for you.
Cool. I think that's great, Ryan. Thanks for joining us today. That's some great insight for solar costs. Stay tuned for future videos diving into more things related to solar costs and how that affects your home value, how to finance a solar installation, as Ryan mentioned. So stay tuned. Head on over to solarhood.net and subscribe for future updates.